66 to cut back over to Interstate 81 to go back down to Waynesboro, Virginia. And I told Barbarian, I said, just hold on, brother, I got this. And I was weaving in and out of traffic, and he kept going, oh, good move, good move. And I look over, and he's looking straight up at the ceiling. And I said, Barbarian, how do you know it's a good move? You can't see nothing but the ceiling. He goes, oh, brother, because we know hit nothing. So I love Barbarian. He's always been good to me.
The next name, Jimmy Valiant.
The Boogie Man, baby. Woo, brother, Boogie Man, love you, baby. Man, another one. When I was told that I was wrestling him in the Mid-South Coliseum, man, you couldn't wipe the smile off my face. And when I went back to talk to Jimmy, I said, hey, brother, I said, they got me working with you. Is that okay? Man, he said, brother, I love to work with you. Man, I love Playboy. We're going to go out here. We're going to have some fun. Baby, we're going to tear this thing up. Go out there and tell them how old the Boogie Man is. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to get some mic time, and I get to do this with Jimmy Valiant. Man, I went out there and threw everything I had at it, and Jerry Lawler happened to be there that night. And it was Jerry Lawler against Billy Travis. Matt Holder was a promoter, and when I come back and I walk through the curtain, Matt Holder goes, Jerry Lawler liked your stuff, liked your mic work. And I'd already been ribbed about Jerry Lawler once. Buddy Landell got me earlier in the day. I said, yeah, whatever. And I walked away, and about that time Jerry Lawler walked up, he said, man, that was pretty funny out there on the microphone. So I, in essence, ribbed myself because I thought Matt was ribbing me. But earlier in the day, I had gone to the bathroom, and the door had a spring on it, and it slammed shut. Well, when I came back out, Buddy Landell goes, hey, man, you just slammed the door in Jerry Lawler's face. I went out and apologized to Jerry Lawler, and he had exactly no clue what I was talking about.
OSCW.
Old School Championship Wrestling. All right. I love Joe to death, but Joe overthinks everything. And I tell him this, and he's too damn nice to be a promoter. He'll get guys call him, and they want to do this, or they want to wrestle this person, and instead of Joe saying, no, I got you wrestling this guy, we need to do this, or whatever, Joe will rearrange his card for people 200 times to try to make everybody happy. And he's kind of got me stepping in to help him with some of that to keep that from happening.
WrestleForce.
Man, I wouldn't work for that promoter. He's an asshole. All right, go ahead. I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm doing things different than what they used to do at WrestleForce. I've tried to take a more of an old school approach of trying to keep it simple. I don't try to do too many elaborate things. I want people to come out and have a good time at a reasonable price. I want all the guys to be able to get paid as fairly as I can pay them. I'd always love to give the guys more. I'm not a stingy or greedy person. If I've got it and we've done good, then everybody does good. If we don't do as well, everybody gets what they were told they were going to get. And I'm sure somebody's going to go, oh, Bob's full of crap. He doesn't do this. But, ask Floaty, ask Sick Boy, ask Cedric Alexander, John Schuyler, the Bravado Brothers, Jackson James, B.J. Hancock, Ray Boyne, the referee. Ask any of those guys if they've ever wrestled on a show that they did not get their money before the intermission. There was one show that I didn't make it to the bank to get enough change, and I had to use some of the payroll to make change. I had their money, I just had to make change. I openly admitted that. I walked back, I told the Bravado Brothers, I said, guys, I got your money, I just have to use it to make change. As soon as intermission gets here, you guys will be paid. And neither one of them had a problem with it. But for the most part, if I make it to the bank in time to get change, then everybody's envelope is done the night before or the morning of. I don't play around with that. I don't think that promoters should hope that the door draws enough people to pay the bills, because 9 times out of 10 it probably won't. So you should be prepared to either take that loss, or if you're going to make money, then you've made money, but your guys are already paid. If guys are worried about whether or not they're going to get paid, they don't pay attention to what they're doing, and the shows aren't as good. If the guys are happy, you have a better show. That's my opinion.
John Malice.
John and I go way back. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for John. Now, we've had a few bumpy spots in the road, but I think that's more because of the fact that we are a lot like brothers. I feel bad that John has had a couple knee injuries that's taken him out, because I actually felt that John was on the rise. He was doing a lot of stuff. He was traveling with Luke Gallows quite a bit. I remember one time John come into the Rock where I was DJing and said something about having to rent a vehicle And I said, why do you need to rent a vehicle? He goes, man, my car just broke down, and I'm going to have to rent a vehicle. I said, man, instead of wasting that money, how about I loan you my truck and you go do the show? You know, other than him and Luke Gallows getting my truck towed, they did pay to get it back out, but they parked it somewhere they shouldn't have, and it got towed. The truck came back in one piece and still ran good. But, you know, and there's not many people that I'll hand my keys to practically brand new truck and say, hey, brother, go drive. But John Malice is one of them.
Hoss Haygood.
Hoss Haygood. You know, I met him when he first started training in the South, and then a couple years ago, I guess it was around March 2011, I was with Luke Gallows, and we went to a fan fest type deal up in Baltimore, and Haygood was living up there at the time, so I got to know him a little better from being up there. And Hoss is one of those guys, if I'm traveling to West Virginia or something like that, and the promoter's looking for somebody, he's one of the first guys that always comes to mind.
And finally, the last name on the list, Bob Keller.
Oh, what a jerk. I wouldn't walk to the mailbox with him. He's so nuts. Man, I can't describe myself. You know, limited athletic ability. Here, I'll go ahead and put myself down a little bit. Limited athletic ability, but I do know a little bit about psychology in the business, so I've been able to pass some of that on to some guys. So that's about all I'm going to say about myself. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a great promoter. I make mistakes. I'm like everybody else. Everybody makes mistakes, but I've done okay. I haven't lost my house yet, so I think I'm doing okay there. Last time I lost a house, it was because of a divorce, not a wrestling show.
All right, and one of the things that we like to do to wrap things up here is what we like to call the call-out. Now, that is anybody that wasn't mentioned during the interview that you want to give some good acknowledgement to, or if you want to call somebody out in a bad way, that's up to you, too.
All right, well, some of the fans at WrestleForce, and I'll go ahead and say Wayne Rush, told me I had to ask you a question.
Yes.
He wants to know why the Carolina Independent Wrestling Awards are not going to be held this year.
Well, it's just as I explained on my Facebook page there. Life dictates to us what it wants us to do. Therefore, this year, I've got a lot going on, man, and I just can't do it. So, with that being said, we are looking into possibly doing a starter for the new year, or we're going to wait and do one next year. But right now, I honestly and truly am so busy that I can't do it.
I can completely understand. And, you know, the thing of it is, and I told Tim Dixon this years ago, when you all first started this, that I commend you all for doing it, but I think you're nuttier than a Christmas fruitcake for doing it, because the people that don't win all of a sudden claim that it's a popularity contest, and it is. I know it's a popularity contest. And if you're losing, you're obviously not that damn popular. So you need to do something to get outside of that one wrestling organization that you wrestle for and get your name out there and be seen a little bit. You know, John Schuyler and I won a few years ago, and I can honestly say that I did not vote for myself. John did not vote for us. That we got the feud of the year from what we were doing in OSCW, and the reason we got feud of the year is because what we were doing, it was believable. People really thought that John and I hated each other. John quit riding with me to the shows. John and I would not be seen together out in front of the curtain. And when John went out, he insulted my daughter. You know, everybody knows that, you know, my daughter is my pride and joy, that I wouldn't take something like that. And everybody's like, oh, well, we all fixed that. Bob Keller and John Schuyler had nothing to do with fixing nothing. People were talking about what we were doing. We had other wrestlers that when we were doing the angle, were going up to the curtain and watching what we were doing. So if the wrestlers are doing that, what were the fans doing? They were obviously watching as well.
And finally, I need you to put yourself over. Where can people get in touch with you about your karaoke? Where can they get in touch with you about WrestleForce? Where can they get in touch with you about your training school? Give all that information.
Very easy. They can just hit me up on Facebook under Robert Keller. Let me back up here for a little bit. If you want to contact me about WrestleForce, if you're a wrestler and you are interested in wrestling for WrestleForce, or if you're a wrestler and you need a place to work out, I have a building. If guys are already in the business and they just need a place to work out, I work with them. You know, $10 a week or something to, you know, to help with some ring maintenance even, or just something. You know, or I'll work with you. Maybe we'll do a barter program. We'll figure out something. But if you're a wrestler and you want to wrestle for WrestleForce, send your information to the WrestleForce Facebook page. Do not send it to my personal page. If you send it to my personal page, just says that you don't listen and you don't pay attention, I'm probably not going to watch it or use you. Now, I'm really weird about that because it's basically following directions. If you're interested in the karaoke show, if you're getting married, you need a disc jockey, hit me up on my Facebook page, send me a message, or my phone number's on there. Or if you'd like to come out and see us at WrestleForce, December 28th, live at the hangar from high atop the disc jockey booth. We'll be watching it live and in living color. Doors open at 4 o'clock. The Brett and Bob pre-show starts at 4:30. Bell time at 5. Adults advance tickets $12. Children 10 and under are only $7. So come on out and have a good time every time right there at the hangar.
So when can we look for the Brett and Bob podcast?
Great question. You know, that's something that Brett and I have discussed. It's something that we want to do. And, you know, you said something about life getting in the way. I had some minor setbacks personally. I'm not going to put other people's business out there. And I had a situation that we thought there for a while that some arrangements with my personal life are going to be changed. So we kind of put the podcast off. And one of the things that we were actually maybe even looking for a producer, somebody to kind of help put things together. And once we got all that, you know, I want things to be a certain way. You know, once we get all those things lined up, then, you know, I think Brett and I will be taking airways.
And finally, Bob Keller, thank you for your time.
I thank you. I do appreciate it. We'll see everybody Sunday night, December 28th, live at the hangar.
I love it. Carolina Independent Wrestling Report will be right back, right after this. Simpsonville, South Carolina, NCW presents the New Year's Bash to benefit the Children's Miracle Network's hospitals. January 1st at the Simpsonville Activity and Senior Center. See all of your favorite NCW wrestling superstars.
DJ Boss,
Rob Killjoy and Shay McGrady. The Sons of Steel, Bryce Anthony and Boomer Payne. ADD.
James Reed,
Cameron Cade.
and many more.
This is the way to start your New Year's off right. Get your advanced discount tickets by calling now 760-705-8888. The Activity and Senior Center is located at 310 West Curtis Street in Simpsonville, South Carolina. Doors open at 6 p.m. with a bell time of 7. Fighting for a cause, it's the NCW New Year's Bash for the Children's Miracle Network's hospitals.
Previously on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Two very different versions of the future collide this December in the 5-issue miniseries Star Trek Planet of the Apes.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
I just had a nerdgasm.
It's all about love. The Ninja Troll Digicast.
With discussions on comic books, sci-fi, and all things in geek culture. This is the Ninja Troll Digicast. Join us each week right here on Spreaker.com.
This is Axel Knight.
It's the one, the only manager of champions, Joey Nugs. You know me, right?
Josh Steinborn. If you're not listening to the CIW Report, you're not hardcore.
This is Bryce Anthony, one half of the Sons of Steel. Make sure you check out Boomer Payne and myself in the Sons of Steel saga every Friday on Spreaker.com.
Thank you, Bob Keller, for this great interview right here on the CIW Report. It is the holiday season, and with that comes the year-end awards. Congratulations to Bob as being one of the members of the board of the Professional Wrestling Awards of the Carolinas. This was their first year, and we want to say congratulations on the success of these awards. And we here at the CIW Report want to say welcome to all pro wrestling fans on Facebook. With polls and questionnaires put up every day, it is a great way to kill some time while being online. And once again, we would like to say welcome to the internet, all pro wrestling fans over on Facebook. Until next time, support independent wrestling, better interviews, clearer sound. This is the CIW Report on Spreaker.com. You've been listening to the Carolina Independent Wrestling Report, heard each Monday from 7 until 8 p.m. right here on Spreaker.com with playbacks on demand anytime. Join us next week for another edition of the CIW Report. And remember, if it's news in the world of Carolina Independent Wrestling, then it's right here on the CIW Report. Booking for the CIW Report is done by SOS Management. Promoting and